Hello Sangha, welcome to day 11. It's very bright, so if it's okay I'll keep my sunglasses on and keep my little head covered. We've been looking at the 8 limbs of yoga, and the first of the 8 limbs is the yamas, and we've looked at ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya. The final one in the yamas is aparigraha, which means non-covetousness. And remember, everything is through the lens of steadying your mind. So if we covet things, whether that be possessions, quite often it might be, especially with Instagram, you know, like we see these beautiful bodies and beautiful movements, and that might be the thing that we grasp after, you know, but it's very disturbing for your mind, you know. And which leads on to what we'll discuss tomorrow, which is saucha and purity. Or cleanliness. So yeah, so think about like letting go of some of that. And there's also the one after saucha, which is santosha, which means contentment. But we'll speak about those over the next 2 or 3 days. Let's bring yourself to lie on your back. Have your knees bent, your feet flat. Again, it's another day of Dodge the Naked German, so hopefully there's nobody in the background. So when you let your body settle, take slow breaths in, slow breaths out. Let your shoulders relax. Let your face relax. If you find that it's too cold in your place to do this, then tomorrow I'll give us an option of how we can keep ourselves warmer rather than begin like this. Let your hands rest by your sides. And on your next inhale, slowly reach your arms up over your head. And as you exhale, let your hands come back down by your sides. And try that a couple more times. Inhale up and over. Exhale slowly back down. And one last time. And then press your feet against the floor, and as you inhale, let your hips come up. And as you exhale, let them come down. And 2 or 3 more times. Raising your hips. Letting them slowly come down, raising your hips, letting them slowly come down. Add your arms back in, floating up and over, your pelvis rises, tuning your body in for the practice. Once or twice more. Bring your feet up off the floor, take your hands around your knees, place your left foot on the floor, your right foot over your left thigh, spread your arms out. So this might be a useful practice if you sit at a desk a lot or you run a lot. We're going to try and get a lot of movement through our legs, opening through our legs. The other thing about aparigraha, maybe you covet your younger self, you know, maybe you're like, I was faster when I was younger, or I was prettier, or I was slimmer. You know, it's really good to just let that stuff go. To release yourself from it. To be with yourself in this moment. And then once you come to the center, try that on the other side. Let your foot come down, your other foot come over, spread out both arms. And again, make this movement from side to side. And when you're ready, gently come back to the center and hug both knees towards you. Taking your hips from side to side, massaging your back into the floor, maybe making circles with your knees. And then roll out to one side, push into the floor, and come to a seated position. If it feels comfortable, bring one hand on one knee, bring the other hand to the back of your head, take your elbow back, and then over. Okay. Take your elbow back and over. Put your hand down when you want to. Reach your arm out when you want to. Good. Getting this movement up and over. And then shaking off when you're done. Getting your wrist nice and loose, your forearm, your elbow, your upper arm, your shoulder. Okay. Bring your hand on your knee that you've been shaking off. Bring the fingers of your other hand to your back of your head. Let your elbow go back and across. And try this 2-3 more times. Releasing your hand whenever you want to. Reaching out whenever you want to. Back and beyond. Over and across. Seeing how things feel for you today as you do this. And then shake it off. Get nice and loose. Roll through both shoulders. Okay. And switch your position up to all fours. So your hands are towards the front of your mat if you use a mat, or just in front of you if you are using the carpet. At home I usually use a carpet. And then drift forwards and backwards. Try and send your head forward and your hips back. So elongate through your spine. Okay, tuck underneath your toes. Let your hips come back toward your heels, and let your heels drift back and down into downward dog. Maybe slightly adjusting the position of your feet. Maybe making circles with your pelvis. Trying to just get some movement, maybe even some kind of cat and cow movement here. So getting a wave-like motion through your spine. Do this with your knees down if you want to. Don't feel like you have to, these are suggestions rather than commands. Okay, so from there, come up on your toes, inhale, lift your right leg, and land your right foot outside your right hand. Let your left knee come to the ground, turn to your right leg, and inhale up with your right hand. Exhale down, and walk your hands back towards your left knee. Bend your left knee so you can reach for your foot. See how that feels for you today. If you can keep hold of your left foot and bring your right hand forward inside your right foot, try that, okay? Maybe you want a cushion underneath your back knee, okay? Because it can be quite strong into the ground if you're doing it on a harder surface. If that feels okay, bring your hand up on your knee and take your gaze forward and let both shoulders point forward. Use your hand against your foot to go a little stronger. Reach your hand out towards the front. Sweep it all the way back. Take hold of your foot if you can, and lift your chest and draw your heel towards your butt. So really down the front of your quads. If you've been running today, this might feel quite strong, so be gentle with yourself. Gently release that. Bring your hands back inside, tuck underneath the toes of your back foot, move your heel away, sink your hips, turn to your front leg again, inhale up with the hand beside it. Exhale, bring it down. Bring your right foot a little bit over towards the centre of your mat, okay? So your right hand can rest inside it, your knee and your shoulder can support each other, and try and turn and reach up with your left hand. And then let that hand come down. Let your back knee come down, and sometimes it's nice to drop this hip down towards the ground if you can. So letting everything open up here. And come back to the centre. Slide your right leg back, take both knees a bit wider. Touch your big toes together, sink your hips towards your heels, your elbows towards the floor, your forehead closer to the ground. Then lift your head, lift your elbows, walk your hands back towards your knees. Bring your knees to rest beside each other and your hips to rest on your heels. And give everything a wee massage from side to side here. Take slow breaths in and out. I wish you were in the sunshine with me. I realise if we're in the midst of the Scottish winter, yeah, it's slightly different from this. When I get home, I'll do the practices as well, so I'll be there with you, feeling the cold outside, but maybe seeing the blue skies, maybe that helps, hopefully. Okay, bring your hands forward again. Tuck underneath your toes. Let your hips come back towards your heels. Let your heels go back and down. Open up your armpits. Press down gently through one heel, through the other heel. Open up a bit more through your armpits. Remember that kind of thing we've been speaking about really opening up that movement that we do at the start of the practice. So this time lift your left leg. Bring your left foot forward outside your hand. Let your back knee come down towards the floor. Turn towards your front leg and inhale up with the hand beside it. And exhale down. I'm going to switch round just so you can see, but from there we're walking our hand back towards your back knee, reaching towards your back foot, holding it, maybe bringing that hand at the front inside our foot. Remember, cushion underneath this knee. I'm okay, I'm on the sand, but even then it's still quite, there's a pressure point in my knee. You want to bring that bring that hand up onto your thigh, lift your chest, okay? Draw your heel towards your buttock, reach your hand all the way out in front, turn your thumb face down, sweep your hand all the way back, and try and lift your chest from here, and draw your foot towards your butt. Good. Gently release that. Let your hands come down the inside. Tuck underneath the toes of your back foot. Move your heel towards the back of your space. Let your hips sink down. Turn to your front leg. Inhale up with the hand beside it. Exhale, let it come down. Bring your foot more to the center. Try and take your knee and your shoulder to connect. Inhale up with the hand beside it. Exhale, coming down. Okay. One more time towards the other leg. And down, let your back knee come down. Float your front leg back. Open up both knees. Touch your big toes. Let your elbows come back, your hips come back. And take some slow and easy breaths here. Lift your head, lift your elbows, walk your hands back towards your knees, and let your hips rest on your heels, okay? There's a naked jogger now. The fun never stops in Fuerteventura. Okay, so from there, bring your hands forward and push into the floor and see if you can come to a squat position, okay? And let your elbows rest on your knees and your knees go from side to side. Let your right hand rest inside your right thigh and inhale, open up with the other hand. Exhale, let it come down. Okay. Inhale, open up with this hand and exhale down. Do it one more time, right? When we get older, we lose our range of motion. Okay, and that's one of the symptoms of growing old, and also like what makes us see other people as old is they just don't reach, they stop reaching their full amount. So even something like this, don't overdo it, don't force it all through your shoulder, but really think about spreading and reaching into like a glove above you. Imagine there's a glove just hanging there and you're just reaching your fingers into it and your whole body into it. And then try that on the other side. So you turn and reach a bit more. Good. Let your palms come together. Push all the way up. Give everything a good shake off. Both arms, both legs. We walk around. Let both toes, or both sets of toes, point forward. Bring your thumbs toward your heart. And let your heels lift up and down. Okay, try that a few more times while I try and stare at the camera and not the naked jogger. Okay. Good. And then let your palms open, your chest lift, your head rest on top of your spine. Try and find this point where you feel light in your stance. Inhale, reach all the way up. Clasp your hands. Push your palms towards the sky and gently drift to one side, drift to the other side. Again, try and find that little edge, not overstretching and overreaching, but not stopping where you're well within like your comfort zone, you know, just getting that little edge of movement, keeping that there. Okay, so we're going to do one balance posture today. Take your weight through your left foot and bring your right foot either to your shin or to the toes to the floor, obviously. Or if you like your heel up inside your thigh, you can have it there. From there, can you look over one shoulder? Back towards the center, over the other shoulder, back towards the center, and if you can, let your eyes gently close. Slowly open your eyes, let your foot come down, shake off. Take your weight through your right foot, turn your left foot out, bring it up if you want to. Bring your hands together. Remember, you can have that foot higher if you want to. Depends on the clothing you're wearing actually to get that foot higher. And look over one shoulder. Ooh, losing my balance. Over the other shoulder. Back towards the center. And now if you can, try closing your eyes. Not for me today on that side. And open your eyes, give everything a good shake off, and let's see if you can sit down without using your hands. Find your seated position. So, yesterday we exhaled in 3 parts, okay? We're going to go back to what's quite often called square breathing or box breathing, or Samavriti is the Sanskrit name, okay? And that means we inhale, we pause, we exhale, we pause, and we try and do them for the same length, okay? So count within yourself, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, or more, as you inhale. Pause again for 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, or whatever you do. And then try that on the exhale and also on the pause between the exhale and the inhale. So it's like a square. So you can also imagine like a line going up as you inhale, a pause along the top, exhale down the other side, and a pause along the bottom. So you're making a box in your mind, or a square in your mind. Try that for 3 or 4 rounds of breath. And at no point, if you feel suffocating or uncomfortable, should you continue it, okay? If you feel uncomfortable in any way, just let the practice go and sit. Sit and follow your breath without any changes in it. If you want to rest in your back today, take some time to rest in your back. So stay resting in your back if you want to. Or if you're in a seated position and you want to move and you're time limited today, then allow some movement. We'll finish today's practice with a chant. I'll put the Sanskrit or the Romanized Sanskrit in the description below, and I'll also put the translation in the description below. It's a beautiful one, and it means may our time together be productive, may we nourish the things that we learn together, may we have no animosity between each other. Okay, so it's a really beautiful one. Okay. Om Saha Nau Avatu, Saha Nau Bhunaktu, Saha Viiryam Karavaavahai, Tejasvi Adhiitam-Astu Vidvissaavahai. Om Shaantih, Shaantih, Shaantih. Om Shaantih.